other news, the leader of North Korea, Jong Un, and the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, may meet this month for weapons talks, but the Kremlin said that they have nothing to say on this matter. Meanwhile, South Korea's president accused North Korea of being a threat to Southeast Asia. The details from Kim Song.
North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is allegedly planning to travel to Russia this month to meet President Vladimir Putin. Reports citing U.S. officials said Kim will possibly travel from Pyongyang by an armored train to Vladivostok on Russia's Pacific coast, where he will meet Putin. Last month, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby raised concerns about possible arms negotiations between Pyongyang and Moscow. To recall, Russia already announced its plan to conduct joint military exercises with North Korea. This statement follows Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu's visit to North Korea for the 70th anniversary of the end of the Korean War in the month of July. On Saturday, the Russian ambassador to North Korea stated that he doesn't know if there are trilateral drills that will be held between Russia, North Korea, and China. Still, he said that this move is appropriate following the trilateral military exercise conducted by South Korea, Japan, and the United States. North Korea has conducted 6 nuclear tests since 2006 and many missile tests over the years, but it rarely conducts military exercises with other countries. Meanwhile, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol branded North Korea's advancing missile programs as a direct threat to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Yoon made the remarks in an interview with Indonesia's Daily Compass. His words also come ahead of his visit to Jakarta, Indonesia, as he plans to join a series of annual ASEAN-related summits. According to Yoon, the North poses a threat with its missile provocations and nuclear threats. With this, he aims to call for support in dealing with such threats. Yoon traveled to Indonesia on Tuesday, and he is also set to travel to India later this week to attend the G20 summit. Eyeing the denuclearization of North Korea, the South Korean president urged unity among ASEAN countries to meet such threats resolutely. Yoon added and reiterated that the stability in the Indo-Pacific region is also connected to global peace and stability. Furthermore, Yoon requested trilateral cooperation amongst Japan, South Korea, and China, and hopes that the cooperation between ASEAN and the 3 dialogue partners in Northeast Asia will grow stronger. Yoon also underlined Seoul's commitment to expanding support for the ASEAN region. Soli Sobogo, Kim Sang, Imnida, SMNI News, South Korea.
Workers at 2 major liquefied natural gas or LNG facilities in Australia have announced a plan to launch a strike for 2 weeks from September 14th. Sheena Salim reports.
Workers at Chevron's Gorgon and Wheatstone LNG projects in Western Australia will launch more strikes amid an escalating dispute over pay and work conditions. The 2-week strike will start on September 14. The 2 facilities accounted for about 7% of global LNG supply last year. The announcement of a strike came after almost all of 461 employees from the Gorgon and Wheatstone sites rejected the company's pay package proposal. News of prolonged strike action has raised fears of disruption to LNG exports and sent European gas prices to a nearly 2-month high. A representative from Chevron said it is now trying to find a solution for the company, its employees, and the gas market. Research and analysis provider Bloomberg NEF warned that a 2-week shutdown at the Gorgon and Wheatstone facilities could lower Australian output by 1.1 million tons. Reporting from New South Wales, this is Sheena Salim, SMNI News, Australia.
Following violent protests in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv over the weekend, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling for the immediate expulsion of those who took part. Let's find out what happened from Almar Forsuelo.
On Saturday, violent clashes erupted between pro- and anti-Eritrean government supporters in the city of Tel Aviv when the Eritrean embassy was due to hold an event. Activists had earlier warned the embassy against hosting the gathering, but they say authorities didn't heed their warning. More than 150 people were injured, as well as at least 30 wounded police officials, according to reports. Pieces of lumber, metal and rocks were thrown between the 2 camps in a neighborhood in the south of Tel Aviv where most asylum seekers live. Protesters also smashed shop windows and vehicles including police cars. Israeli law enforcement personnel equipped in riot gear responded by deploying tear gas, stun grenades, and live rounds with mounted officers attempting to manage the protesters and disperse the mob. The following day, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a special ministerial committee meeting in Jerusalem in response to the recent outbreak of violent riots involving Eritrean immigrants in Tel Aviv. During the forum, Netanyahu said he is seeking strong steps against the rioters, including the immediate expulsion of those who took part, and expects a complete and updated plan to repatriate all of the remaining illegal infiltrators from the country.
עכשיו נשארה בעיה רצינית עם המסתננים הבלתי חוקיים בדרום תל אביב, במקומות אחרים, אבל מה שקרה אתמול היה חציית קו אדום. זה התפרעות, זה שפיכות דמים, זה פרעות שאנחנו לא יכולים לקבל. ולכן הדבר הראשון שאני עושה הוא לאחל החלמה לשוטרים שנפצעו במהלך הניסיונות להחזיר את הסדר. אנחנו מבקשים צעדים חזקים נגד המתפרעים, כולל גירוש מיידי של אלה שנטלו חלק בזה. אני מתקשה להבין מדוע תהיה לנו בעיה עם אלה שהם מכריזים שהם בעצמם תומכי המשטר, ולכן הם בוודאי לא יכולים לטעון טענת פליטות. בכל מקרה, אני מבקש גם שהפורום הזה יכין תוכנית שלמה, מעודכנת, להוצאתם של כל שאר המסתננים הבלתי חוקיים ממדינת ישראל, וזה התכלית של ההתכנסות הזאת היום. תודה רבה.
Furthermore, United Nations or UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk said Monday that he was alarmed by the high number of injuries during recent clashes in Israel involving Eritrean protesters, adding it is crucial that investigations take place and hate speech is avoided, especially by authorities, and that the principle of non-refoulement is fully respected. It can be noted that more than 17,000 Eritrean asylum seekers currently reside in Israel, with many of them having entered the country illegally via the border with Egypt. This is Almar Forswell reporting, SMNI News.